Good evening. Happy Sunday. I am Lysa, the boss lady.
And of course, I'm Chef Square.
So, y'all, we want to talk about support. And I think that a lot of us, we take it for granted, that we're going to get the support, that we are supporting. And sometimes the other person is not being supported or not feeling supported, and we don't even know. So we definitely wanted to, to address that because it's a key ingredient, to keeping your relationship successful and having longevity. You don't want to be with your spouse and not be supporting them and thinking that you are, and they not feel supported, because that will make someone feel alone, like they're alone in, you're in a relationship.
Well, a lot of couples have uh, talked to us and has explicitly said that support is one of the main ingredients that they have in their relationship, and it causes the relationship to be healthy. So I do think that it's very important to support, your spouse, and knowing how to support your spouse, and
Right.
when to
Right.
support your spouse.
Right.
I think that's very important too.
I think it's also important that you have to communicate to your spouse, how it is that they're not supporting you or how you would like for them to support you, because they could be doing something that they think is supporting you, and you be still feeling like you're not being supported. Like little things. For me, it's little things, that can make me feel like I'm not being supported, and he'll be like, but so you have to communicate with with your spouse the things that you need, the things that are not even lacking per se, but the things that you need so that they won't be lacking. Take the time out to communicate, let them know, and also take the time out to put yourself in their shoes. I don't know, a lot of you guys don't know, but my dad is he's elderly. He is 91 years old, and he has dementia. And my mom, she didn't put him in a home or anything. He's there with her, with my mom, and they live in the Dallas area. So it's a little difficult for me to see them as often as I would like. And it's difficult when I go see my dad if he doesn't know who I am. So it just makes me feel, it can be hurtful when I go see my dad and he doesn't know who I am. And my husband had a similar situation with his grandmother before she passed away. So he immediately was, hey, I got this. You go see your parents. You take the kids and you go see your parents. And usually is, well, we gonna go do this and we're gonna do that and we got this and we got that. But he was just really adamant about getting me there, to see my parents. And for that, I'm truly grateful, because not only did I not express to him, well, I need to go see my parents. I need to go see my parents. He knew that was something that I needed without me having to tell him, or without me even realizing how dire the need was. He told me, and he'd been telling me, I'm going to take you to see your dad. I'm going to take you to see your parents. And the one day that I took him up on that offer, he just stayed here and he held it down. So it's important. It's important for, those types of things to happen. And then when I got there, of course, he didn't know who I was. And me not having to worry about taking care of any businesses that we had, taking care of any, stuff that we had to take care of. I had a really good day. And it didn't start out good. I'll tell you that. Because when I woke up, I was, nervous. I was all nerved up. And from the second that I got up, he already knew, that I wasn't myself. He was checking on me throughout the day. Hey, are you okay? I don't feel like you're okay. And um, it was just everything. Yesterday was able to turn out to be a good day. It wasn't a good day because I felt urgency. I felt the need to hurry up and go see my dad. And so I was keyed up and emotional the whole way to Dallas, which is 3 hours. And so and it was just me and my children and their children, their puppies, their fur parents, whatever. So it wasn't good. But when I got there, eventually my dad did know who I was. We weren't there that long before he figured out who we were, and he knew who we were for the rest of the day. And so I was able to have a good day. My husband was checking on me. Everything was good. He held it down, and I was able to spend a really good family day with my family, period. My nephew Dante, shout out to DJ, and my niece Amber. They came through as well, and my younger children's dad came through, and they were able to see. So we just really had a really good family day, and I have to give a shout out to Chef Square for holding it down, so that I was able to step back, and do that. He's always fussing at me about not stepping back and not taking a break, and I was able to, literally just step back and go see my parents and be Lysa, without being Lysa the boss lady.
Well, because I've been in a similar situation, I know and knew how dire the situation is and the importance of sharing that time while you can. So, when I was going through my situation, that was basically what I did. I was able to go around, be around my grandmother, go around my grandmother, always help her out, always talk to her. And so when it got to those points, what made me feel good is the fact that I had spent so much time with her, mm-hmm, that when I did come around and she did hear
you.
My voice, she knew exactly who I was.
She did till the end. She knew you.
So that was something that, I was able to do because, of course, my parents were in the Houston area. And so with you, I felt that same sense of wanting to be with them and be around them for you like I did for myself. And so it was very much more important that I allowed you to take that break and allowed you to go down there and allowed you to have those moments that you had, knowing that, okay, it started out rough, but me knowing that the reason why it started out rough was because you were nerved up. And because it was a sense of urgency to go down and to see your parents, which that was something that I will never stand in the way of, especially with the circumstances, because I know how those circumstances turn. So just being able to allow you to do that was, basically a strength to me, because I was able to take care of anything that came up. I was able to take care of what had to be done. I was able to allow you to relax your mind and to focus on dealing with your parents and just being there to enjoy the time that you had. So I think that that was what I felt. And the one thing about it is through communication, I was able to understand that. But effective communication, and when I mean effective communication, I'm not talking about just talking things out. I mean actually having a dialogue in which where you rebuttal and you listen to be able to be the best person that you can be for your spouse. So that had a lot to do with it. So leading up until this point, I could tell the changes and the mood you had been in and all of those things. So I was just able to combat it with a healthy strategy that allowed me to push. So that's what I did.
And I will forever be grateful for that. I feel that that was just what I needed. Um, so I want to ask you, because I mean, it's obvious how I felt and how I had a great day and everything. How was your day? How did your day go while you were holding the fort down? How did that go for you?
I mean, it was a typical day. It was not anything special. It wasn't super tedious or nothing like that. I mean, I have to do things that I had to do. So, whatever had came up, it was just something that came up. But actually still being in the mindset that I am a husband, and with knowing how my wife is and knowing how nerved up and how emotional my wife is, to be a blessing and to be a help, to actually be the helpmate that I need to be, and not try to like basically force my agenda on you, not trying to attack you, because that's counterproductive. I mean, I could have really done those things. I could have attacked you, but what would that have gained? Nothing. And to be counterproductive at this stage of the relationship is just stupid. It's just stupid. Like why? Why
Right.
would I do that when I know what's going on? When I
Right.
know that this is okay, this is not her. This is not her at a norm. Let me get down to the bottom. Okay, I see what the problem is. Okay, so now I know I can't be abrasive. I can't be this. I can't attack. I can't do none of that. All of that is going to be a counterproductive thing, and that's going to drive a rift in between us. Because when you need me the most, I'm not there. I'm being combative. Which that means that like you'll hear any military vet say, or any military strategist say that war is won on the ground daily. So it's more important for me for on a day-to-day basis evaluate and be that man versus trying to take a general all picture when I might miss something. So I just try to make it to the point where I do these things, and I do these things on a daily to renew myself, to make sure that I'm covering all bases, to make sure that I am hitting the right spots and not being in a wrong spot in which where it could be counterproductive. Or me being left with, well, I tried to do this and I tried to do that. Well, that doesn't do anything if you're not hitting the correct spots. If you're not being totally involved in what you're trying to do. If you're not knowing your spouse and really being able to touch the areas that need the most help, not trying to be superficial with it.
I agree. And so yesterday, while you were holding everything down, you didn't feel overwhelmed. You didn't feel any of those things. It was just a regular day. Just the only difference, I wasn't here.
I mean, pretty much because technically speaking, like it doesn't like you can't get anything done, and nothing is productive if I was bogged down in my feelings. Now, I could have done that. I could have took that approach. But what would that have served me? Wouldn't have served me anything, because if at the end of the day, I still would have just been missing. I would have been throwing darts at a dartboard, missing the complete dartboard. So it was like, what? Okay, what do I need to do in order to make sure that I'm the most effective for the situation, to make sure that everything goes the way it needs to? And I did that.
You did. You held it down. We're going to take a really quick break, and then we're going to go into why it was so easy for Chef Square to call what was going on, how I was feeling. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for healthy meal prep, family-style meals, or catering for your next event, look no further than the East Traveling Square Kitchen with Chef Square, Alan Phillips, specializing in soul food, family-style dining, and southern flavor. Chef Square can adhere to dietary needs like keto and bariatric meal prep without compromising on taste. Take advantage of weekly meal plans like the Starter Pack, 5 meals for $75 with 3 entree choices. Additional meal plans and contact-free delivery is available. Contact Chef Square of the East Traveling Square Kitchen today at 832-495-8836 and tell them Stunner Radio sent you.
And we are back. So I feel the reason why Chef Square was able to tell me, okay, you need to take a step back, was because we've been friends. We've been friends for 8 years. We've been friends for 8 years, and we've been like getting to know each other the whole time. And he had a series like of unfortunate events to happen to him. And so it's like when the things that happen to him are falling upon me, then he knows, we're almost the same person. We are so much alike. Like we like the same things, most of the same things. Like I don't get the Japanese anime thing.
I'm not into big hair.
Oh, really? You don't like my hair?
I stay bald. Hey.
You don't like my hair?
No hair, don't care. That's me.
So you want me to get a fade?
No. That's not what I said.
Yeah, because I've been asking him, to fade me up. And he won't do it.
Of course not.
But now I got big hair, and you want to make comments about my big hair.
I mean,
but he can fade me up.
You're into big hair. I'm just not into big hair.
Big hair is something that you grow into.
I've heard that.
Because I haven't always been into big hair either. But I do like this big hair. So it's not something I've always been into, but I definitely I've grown into this, and I just love the look. Shout out to Lysa Dene.
Yes, she is definitely responsible for your love of big hair.
Because she did open up the big hair door for me. She does it so well. She does everything well. Shout out to Lysa Dene, y'all, period. She is the general manager and owner of Stunner Radio. She is the #1 stunner, y'all.
AKA.
Listen, she is everything. A recording artist, just amazing. Business coach, life coach, just awesome. And she's an amazing person that I am happy and proud to call my friend. And that's my best friend.
I will say that upon meeting her, she has been the greatest addition to my life that I have ever seen or known. I've never known a person to come into someone's life and immediately have a big impact.
Yeah, I mean, she the second day she met you, business plan just.
And pushed me forward. And allowed me to do things that I wouldn't ordinarily do, see things that I wouldn't ordinarily see, and that's something that's always been important to me.
I just definitely had to shout out Lysa Dene. This platform is amazing. We have grown, as people, as public figures, as business owners, as husband and wife. We've grown in so many different ways, and we've helped other people, so many different ways. And it feels amazing just to help people to get this information out there. We've had the Barnes on, we've had the Dents, we've had the Buoys, we've had, the Critical Show, we've had them on. We've had, so many guests that have been influential. We had Zoe and Mike, just so many. I want to shout out to all my guests. I want to shout out to Lysa Dene. I definitely want to shout out to our international listeners, y'all. I'm telling y'all, I'm fixing to get this list, and I'm going to say thank you in each language.
I want to see that.
I'm going to do that. That's my challenge. So next Sunday, I'm going to say all our international listeners, I'm going to say their country, and I'm going to say thank you in their language.
But getting back to what made it so easy for me What made it so easy for me is because we're so much alike and we have a lot of similarities. When I see me and you, I immediately know it's a problem. And the reason why I say that is because
it don't sound good.
I'm a cynical person. I'm a glass half empty type of person.
Right.
And that's the way that I think. And when I start seeing your joyfulness start to retreat and you start to kind of mimic my attitude, mimic my ways, I know then something is wrong. But yes, due to what I have been through in this past year, I was able to identify it a whole lot faster because it's fresh. So I was able to see the twist. I was able to see like how your mood switched. I was able to see how the imperative of what you wanted and how you wanted it, what that meant. I was able to see that even if you might have lashed out, understanding that there's a problem at hand because you don't normally do that. I do. So when I got to seeing those things, then I knew there was a problem. So it was time to address the problem, or it was time to alleviate the problem. And so what I chose to do is, instead of address it, I just chose to alleviate the problem by setting up and preparing things for you so you could actually go and enjoy yourself. That was my whole purpose.
Thereby alleviating the problem.
Right.
I definitely want to thank you for, being as, I guess, farsighted to see that, because when you said it, I see it. But before you said it, I didn't see it. I didn't that's what I mean. Like when I say, you know me to the point where the things that I need and I don't know that I need them, you see it and you're able to tell me, okay, go. I wouldn't have, and I would have kept, prolonging it and procrastinating. But something in my spirit was just like, get up and go. And when I woke up, like my eyes wasn't even really good open. And I was just like, I'm going to go. And to be able to do that was just, it just meant a lot to me, because I'm so used to, previously doing everything by myself and being in business I've never went in business with a man. I never went in business with anybody. And so, I'm not used to that, but you are absolutely right. And it's so crazy that I didn't even know, that about myself until you just said that. You're absolutely right. When I start, lashing out, that's when there is a problem at hand, and it's a problem. It's not a concern. It's an actual problem.
Well, a lot of it is me knowing your voice. And what I mean by knowing your voice,
I was about to say, you saying I do the mind voice?
What I mean by knowing your voice is it goes past just speaking. It goes past just uttering words. When you woke up yesterday morning, and you said, all right, I got to go. And you began making the calls and making the preparations. I rolled over because I was half asleep. I am going to tell you just how in tune I was. I was half asleep, and not only was I half asleep, but I turned over, and I was like, okay. In my mind, I said, okay, let her go because she needs to go. And because it was much more than what you uttered, I listened to the tone of your voice. I even listened to the conviction that was in your voice as well, as you were making the preparations to go. So then I started to say to myself, it's not about you, but you need to stand out of the way. You need to make sure that she does exactly what she needs to do so we can get this problem and she can get back to who she really is. And so I then chimed in on a few things. And after that, I let you basically go. Well, what you didn't realize was during that time, I had said that I was going to take on the responsibilities of anything that came up. I didn't have to tell you that because I was like, look, you and the kids need to go. It's more important for you, my exact words before you left, it's more important for you and the kids to go than for me to go. Because I know exactly how important it is for you to go and for the kids to go too. So go. So we won't have this problem.
That's another thing. Because when I go somewhere, it's usually we are together. We are attached at the hip. It's never, well, I went and Alan didn't go. No, it's never that. We're always together. And so it was a shock. It was a shock to the kids. It was a shock to my parents. When I got my mom's, where's Alan? I thought Alan would be with you. It's always, us, the Phillips together. And for me to be by myself, it was something different. But I will say that I don't like to travel without you. Anybody that knows me knows I don't like to travel without my husband. I like for us to be together. But yesterday was it was a really good bonding day, with me and my children, which is something that I hadn't had in a little while. It's hard for one to get them all together because they're adults. So it's really hard, to get all three of my children in one place. And then I remember the one time last month that I got them all together, it was like 20 minutes.
Maybe.
They ate up our food and left.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what happened.
So it was a lot, the 3 hours there, the freaking 5 hours back because of the accident. But it was a lot, it was really good. And to be able to spend that time with them and my parents and everything and bond, of course I miss my husband, but I did appreciate the bonding that I got with my children, and it just meant everything.
Well, you know what? As a husband, it's imperative to know how the dynamics of your household work. And it's also important to understand whatever the heart feels, the body will surely succumb to. So people always say that the man is supposed to be the head. Well, the most important organ of the body is the heart. Because it doesn't matter what the head does if the heart ain't right. So it was more important, and I do view a woman as being the heart of the household. So it's imperative that you make sure that the heart is taken care of. So when it all came down and I started to understand the situation, it was more imperative that you had time to bond with the kids and you had time to bond with your parents without me being present, because you needed that more with that. You needed that time more with them than you did with me.
But you're going next time, right?
Yeah, I'll be there next time. But it was more important at that time. And it's not a bad thing to understand, okay, as a husband, hey, I'm gonna have to lay this down. I'm gonna have to lay this pride to the side. I'm gonna have to lay this to the side in order to make things work. And in order to push things forward, in order to heal what's hurting.
So you don't think that the time that we spent apart yesterday was good for our relationship?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I'm just wondering. Like, I don't want you to feel like it was a sacrifice or whatever.
No. I think it was good because I think
you paid some Japanese anime while
I did, but that was the point. But I think that it was more imperative. Like I said, it was more imperative for you to take that time with the kids than for me to stand in the way of that. And though my presence is always seems to be warranted, I know that I pulled a lot more respect knowing that I have the capacity to lay down that position in order to let the family make what it's supposed to make out.
Right. Absolutely. Because knowing that you're able to say that, to say, let me let you, go and spend some time and do some bonding, with your children and with your parents without me. Let me take care of that. Let me take that on. That definitely does warrant respect, because like I said, I've never had that. I haven't had that. I haven't had someone, to treat me that way, as far as a business aspect. Now, as far as my parents, yes, I haven't dated just heartless guys. My dad he'll be 92 on the 1st, so he's been elderly for quite a while, and so people do tend to understand about that, but as far as taking on everything, like I took one call yesterday, as far as business, and that was it. And that was a choice that I made. I chose to take that call because I chose to be at the forefront of that. I came, I took notes. I came home, I shared the notes, and he had already, decided that he was going to spearhead what the phone call was about. And so I just gave him the notes. And so he's going to handle all of that. So it was very relieving. And it is, not only do we have to support our spouse, but we have to allow our spouse to support us. Because I have a habit of taking everything on. And it's like when everything doesn't get done in a certain way and in a certain amount of time, then I put myself on an island, and then I just do every single thing and don't give anybody a chance to do anything or help me or anything like that. And I realized that because he told me.
Well, it's the equivalent of trying to get a taxi in New York. And what I mean by that is, how a taxi going by, you're like, hey, taxi, and it just pass by. Hey, taxi, and then just another one shoot by you. Hey, taxi, and then another one shoot by you, and it's like, okay, you asked me for me to help,
right?
And as soon as I get ready to jump in, it's gone,
right?
And I'm like, oh, okay, what happened? And then you'll be like, okay, well, I need your help on this. And I'll get ready to go and I tag it and it's gone again. And I just got frustrated because I was like, okay, look, I want to do something too. So
I'm so used to doing everything by myself that when I ask for help, I don't even allow it to happen. When I ask for the help, I don't allow it to facilitate itself. So I have to be aware of that as well. I have to be aware of wanting support and needing support. And I have to be aware of the fact that, what I'm wanting and what I'm needing, it's being offered, and I have to accept it. Because I'm so not used to having that kind of help or having someone that's willing to help. It ends up being a dire situation where I feel like if it's not done this second, then okay, I'm gonna have to do it myself. And I put myself out there, like literally on that island, and I'm not allowing any boats to come rescue me.
Right.
So I have to, do better in that aspect, especially as far as that's where communication comes in. I have to say, okay, this is what I need, this, and this, and I need you to do it in XYZ, because when it's not going to the speed that I needed to go, that's when my anxiety kicks in, and I just tunnel vision.
And then I become this super calm, cool, collective, and it's kind of funny because the trade-off.
And then I get mad.
The trade-off is ridiculously funny, because then I become so funny. Super calm, cool, collective, like this cool, this just like this serene. I just get into like a serene state of mind, and I'll be like, okay, look, this is what it is. This is how I'm going to take care of it. Let me take care of it. And it gets done. And it gets done right. And so, like I tell us a lot of times, some things just can't happen right then. Sometimes you have to let it develop. Sometimes some skills you just have to let it develop. Sometimes it takes a little longer for you to accomplish a goal or to accomplish a feat. And it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
of course you wouldn't.
Anyways, I have to, we have to be, communicate to each other, what it is that we need, and we also have to be open to have that need met. And a lot of times, I'm not the only person that has relationship PTSD. A lot of times, he does too. A lot of times when I'm doing things, when I do things for our family, period, for everybody. I don't have tunnel vision. Things aren't just for me. If I buy an outfit, it is for me to speak at an engagement that is going to better our future as a family, as a whole, as a collective. So he's not used to that either. He's used to ladies that want him for what he has and what he can give and not give him anything in return. And so he has to learn how to, see that this is not that, so like both of us have to communicate. And like he said, listen to understand. Because if you're saying something and they're not hearing what you're saying, they're hearing something different, then that's a breakdown in communication. You have to stop it right there. And I'm bad about that too. So when he'll say something to me, I have to teach myself to say, okay, this is what you said. This is what I heard. So that he can tell me what he really meant, if it's what I heard or if it's not what I heard. Because when you have that breakdown right there at the foundation, that's where the cracks form.
Well, I have a bad habit of saying things, and I will run. I will run. My mind runs at about 100 miles an hour.
Run amok in a palace.
So I will shoot off things. And I will shoot off things as a checklist. And a lot of times it's know your audience. I know that a lot of times that when I start speaking like that, because I'm trying to get things done and I get things accomplished, I have to sit back and I have to pause. And I have to wait until she comes to me if she missed something. So then it becomes okay, sit, relax, explain. And that's just something that I do. But I'm a teacher by nature. So that's something that kind of comes natural to me. So I just try to make sure that I do what it is that I can do and be the most effective husband that I can for the time and for the situation. Now that was something that I had to learn because that was an important part of why I used to get the relationship PTSD in the beginning. So now that I've learned and I understand, now I go about things a little different. And I had to learn that being combative is all counterproductive. It never breeds anything. It never makes anything better. It only makes things worse. And I had to learn that. And I had to learn not to be so abrasive when I speak. Because when I get upset, then I just I'm a Leo. I go into an all-out attack. And I know you probably seen the memes on Facebook that, the Leo gets mad that they're trying to prove that they're not trying to argue, but they raise their voice because they're not trying to argue in the attempts of not arguing, but end up in an argument, which is the most frustrating thing as a Leo. So I had to learn not to say things so abrasive and not to be so harsh and so hard when I talk. And that took a lot of getting used to. It took a lot of getting used to, but now that I've gotten used to it, it just makes me a more effective communicator. And it's funny because, like I say, and I'll tell anybody, we've always had a very good communication when it came down to us and how we think and how we feel amongst the relationship. But there are things that trigger that will actually become a stumbling block if you're not careful.
Right.
So there was some of that. That's why I was, and I always say that our communication, it was good at first, but now it's even better than what it was at first, which is a blessing, because to get more clarification with somebody that you see clearly, it's just that much sweeter.
I definitely agree. I think that things are with us are on a higher level, on a more, I guess, intense level, more promising level, because I could say that I haven't been with anyone that I've been married to for 2 years and I still like them. I mean, not all the time. I don't like you all the time, but I do like you the majority of the time. I like you 95% of the time. So I think that that's really good. You like me 95% of the time?
I say about 96.
96,
97%.
Oh, you got to be more than me?
97. I'm just saying, because I enjoy you a lot more, especially when I get a deeper understanding of you.
Right. And it's easy to misunderstand because sometimes when I say things, it comes out the wrong way. And so I get that. So when we have an understanding of what I'm saying or how, and where I'm coming from, I do get that. And like when you hear me say something the first time, you might not like me. Be like, ugh, she's not my favorite person right now. And then when I it's clarified what I mean, when I say it, then you could be like, oh, okay, she's my favorite person again.
Well, a lot of it is just, listening, but not being combative at that time.
Right.
And which is a skill that I just recently picked up.
You get new skills.
So my thing is to, take in what was said. And if I have a disagreement with what was said, then when we get to our times in which where we are talking and we're rebuttaling, I'll bring that back up for clarification. Because who knows where because we be at a lot of places, and we're out in the public now. So a lot of it is, let me not make a scene. Let me try to curtail how I'm feeling. Let me make sure that this is what it is. And so, just being able to keep a calm, serene state of mind, but also being able to be effective when I recommunicate what I heard for clarification. So it's a skill that you have to develop. I mean, nobody has all of the tools in their toolkit at the same time. A lot of it is built upon, years and years. And so with that being said, it's just refreshing when I can add something to my toolkit that's really effective. So
absolutely. I definitely have to agree. And we have come a long way, even though we have been, good friends, and we have a better understanding of each other than most outside people have an understanding of us. But we still are growing. We still are learning each other. We still are, discover, because it's crazy. Like after 2 years, I'm still discovering things about you. You're still discovering things about me. even though it's been like 8 years of knowing each other. But the important thing is that we are learning, that we are discovering these things, that we are adjusting, our lives to the new information, the new knowledge. Because a lot of times when you're in a relationship with someone, you grow. Regardless, you grow, as you keep going in life and get older, you grow. You're supposed to. And
Oh, I'm just gonna touch. I'm just gonna not to cut you off, but I just want to interject. It's easier to grow together as a relationship than to grow as two individuals that are together.
But you will do that as well.
I mean, everybody will pull off and put on as evolution, describes it. But what we do is not only do we grow as individuals, but we tend to bring that to mesh as a unit, and then we end up growing as a unit. So it's like, yes, I'm becoming a better man. Yes, you're becoming a better woman. But at the same time, too, I'm becoming a better husband. You're becoming a better wife.
And we're becoming a better team.
Exactly.
Right. That's okay. That's what I was going to say. So stay tuned really, really quick. We're going to take a really quick commercial break, and we are going to come back and discuss homework.
Are you looking for ways to take your business to the next level? Well, Houston, we have a solution. The Boss Up Bootcamp is here to help you level up. Join Lysa, the Boss Lady, and her amazing roster of speakers that will give you the inside scoop on turning your side hustle into multiple streams of income. This is your year to level up, but don't delay. Register now before it's sold out. Visit www.lysathabosslady.com to register for this event and for more information. That's Lysa, Lysa, THA, Remember, you got to be in it to win it. So register today. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
And we are back. And our homework, y'all, for tonight is going to be centered, around support, like the topic. What it is that's important for you guys to do is make a point to listen. Listen to your spouse as far as what they need to, as far as in the way of support, and learn how to implement that action. Implement that and make it to where it's not abrasive.
I think that's important. This is something that we do continuously, especially as things kind of heat up with what we have going on. So I think that listening is always a good thing, but listening with the intent to improve is where things break down. And for anybody to be a more effective listener in your relationship is key.
Absolutely.
I mean, because it's key for communication. It's key for everything. It's one of the building blocks that people just don't talk about.
Absolutely. It's very important to to take into consideration the other person's feelings, how they're feeling, how they're going to feel, how it affects the unit, how it affects the whole. If you're able to do that, and you're able to effectively listen and listen to understand, not listen to reply or rebuttal, listen to understand, then it's only going to make your relationship that much stronger. Because as we're growing, I'm growing as a person, he's growing as a person, we're growing as husband, as wife, as team, as a married couple. As we're growing, the only thing that we're doing is bettering each other. We're bettering ourselves and bettering each other by bettering ourselves. So if you're listening and you're listening to understand what your spouse is saying, then you're strengthening your bond, Because if you're understanding what they're saying and you have a wholehearted desire to meet the need that they need you to meet, that's only going to make your relationship stronger. Because what happens is when you love and appreciate someone and you cherish that person, then they do the same thing in return. When I'm being loved correctly, when I am being understood, when I'm being cherished, when I'm being adored, then I go above and beyond to reciprocate that. And it's easier to do. It's easier to reciprocate that when I'm being adored, when I'm being loved, because it's not a chore. It's you're feeling these things from this person, so of course you want to give it back to them. And when you're truly happy, when you're truly happy when you're not um putting investing any time into misery, investing any time into petty, investing any time into hate and trying to dim someone else's shine. Because when you're truly happy, you want everybody else to be happy too. That's how you know when you're truly happy. When you're truly happy, you want everybody else to be happy too.
That's true because the one thing that um, is very degenerating is to not be happy and to feel like that nothing is coming of you being happy. And when that happens, it breeds resentment, it breeds hate, it breeds envy, and instead of helping your partner, you end up wanting to hurt them. And that's never healthy because you're supposed to be a unit. You're supposed to stand together. You're supposed to make things work together. You're supposed to bridge the gap. You're supposed to make things do what they need to do. And so with that being said, you can't do that. You can't be an effective husband. You can't be an effective wife if you're not happy. Because I mean, what makes you more effective, what makes you more loving is the happiness that ensues in the relationship. So it's about being better. It's about being happy. It's about being adored and being just overall loved. And it goes both ways. But the one thing I will say is that the one thing if one person is drawing more out of it than the other and it becomes unbalanced, then that breeds a problem as well. So it's better to make sure. And as for men, something that we don't do, we don't pour back into our wives. Some do, some don't. But I know for the vast majority of those that are in a relationship that call themselves a man, we don't pour back into our wives. So it's important that we pour back into them. You pour back into your wife is almost as like making a business arrangement. And when you pour into her, she should be able to pour back into you, and vice versa.
Right, because if you don't, then we can't. How can we pour if our cup is empty?
Right. So it's more is that's where reciprocation. That's where that word comes in relationships. But it's all about pouring into giving your spouse, giving that girlfriend, that fiance, that wife, giving them something that they need and something that they want, and giving it to them in abundance. So that way, when it comes down to have that same action that happened to you, they will give you exactly what you gave them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if you give it to me, then I can give it to you more easily. So, y'all, it's been insightful, very insightful, and I thought it just needed to be said, because support is very key in a relationship. So let's support each other, y'all. Let's support our spouse. Let's do our homework, make a point to listen to your spouse and implement the action that they're asking you for without being abrasive. Listen to them to understand and make sure that you both have an understanding. But also, spouses that need the support, communicate that support. Communicate the support that you need so that your spouse can, give that to you so that it can be fulfilled. So, last words.
Have at the homework.
Absolutely. Have at the homework, guys, and enjoy it. Enjoy the homework. Talking to your spouse should be something that you enjoy. It should be bonding with your spouse to be it should be an enjoyable experience. And if it's not, then y'all need to sit down and talk a little bit more. So with that being said, I want to tell y'all happy Sunday. Be safe, be careful out there. And we will see you next Sunday where we are going to talk about a love story.
Yes, and I might be making some gumbo, yeah.
We'll see about it. So also Saturday, we have the Boss Up Boot Camp. Guys, you do not want to miss the Boss Up Boot Camp. What we're doing is having a workshop for entrepreneurs and people that want to be entrepreneurs. We have Lysa the Boss Lady, we got Lisa Danae, we got Miss Cat, we got La Flower Bowie. You want to be in the building. So I hope to see you there, and happy Sunday, guys.
Happy Sunday.